Yeah, the mosquitoes are going to be a good time. I'm probably only going to be able to do 20 minutes or so of this. Anyways, welcome back to Prepping with Sarge. Yeah, we'll do a quick little lunchtime live stream here. And while we're waiting for people to come in, do a little intro. So I am Sarge. It is not I like to periodically reiterate that it is not a military title. It's not a police rank. It is just a nickname that I've gotten from years ago when I was in college. Kind of stuck. I was like a freshman. Yeah, freshman year in college. Friend of mine, hey Celine, it's good to see you. We are over here by one of the boat ramps for the Ashley River, and look how low that river is. Like that, there was usually water right up to here. So back when I was in college and I was pledging for a fraternity, Theta Chi, if there's anybody out there in my audience that's Theta Chi, please let me know. And one of the other fraternity brothers was nicknamed the General. And they said that some of the upperclassmen said that I reminded them of the General. So I became Sarge. So it is not a military rank, and I apologize for any confusion. Please save your thanks for anyone who's in the service community and the valor for them. They've earned it. So I drop videos twice a week, always topics related to preparedness, wilderness survival, food self-sufficiency, financial survival. I've got a video coming tomorrow night about financial survival, and I've got one coming on Friday night. Just a little update on how to manage your crops during frosts. So today, when I got up and usually my morning routine is, maybe I'll do a vlog sometime on my morning routine if you're curious. My morning routine is I usually get up, have my coffee, have a little bit of cereal, and I start by watching the news. And I turn on the news, and the news was talking about a new super weapon that Russia has called it's not new. It's actually, I did a little research, and it's actually, we've known about it for a while, at least since 2019, but CNN decided hey, heroic prepper, I'm talking about I don't know if you caught the news today, I'm talking about the Poseidon Torpedo today. So for some reason, CNN, I don't know if it's a low news day, they decided today was the day they're going to talk about the Poseidon Torpedo, but it's been around for at least a little while, something that Russia's been developing. And basically what it is, I'm not going to get into the politics of this too much. I'm actually more interested in talking about the prepping for something like this. But basically what it does is they can launch a torpedo at, yep, you saw that report. They can launch a torpedo at our coastline, and specifically the East Coast, which is where I'm at. I'm over in Charleston. And it is capable of detonating underwater, and they believe it can be undetected by our Coast Guard, and it would create a 500-meter tsunami, radiated tsunami, which means that, bye-bye Charleston and many of the cities on the East Coast. Now, Charleston absolutely would be one of the military targets if we ever got into something really bad with another country and they decided to attack our homeland. We are one of the biggest. Yeah, it sounds. And you're in Boston, so guess what? You're on the list too, my friend. There's no surviving a radiated tsunami. Well, we'll talk about that. A tsunami itself is bad. A radiated tsunami pretty much means that the land around you and all the water would be basically poisoned, and everybody would have to evac if you got enough warning to evac. But they say this thing can travel pretty fast and can create that 500-meter tsunami, which would be, basically radiated ocean water. I'm assuming that would kill most of the fish and wildlife in the area. And then when that tsunami hits land, of course, the tsunami is going to do massive destruction as well. And then what would be left behind would be radiated water. It sounds like a party, doesn't it? So why are we bringing this up? Why is CNN bringing this up today? That's a really good question. They've known about this thing since at least 2019. It's not really a new danger to us. Hey, Stamos, good to see you. It's not really a new danger to us. It's been a threat, but I guess low news day. So I wanted to talk about it since it's kind of on the news today. I wanted people to know it's not something to necessarily panic about. Other nations have their ways of defending themselves, and just like we have ours. And since at least, the creation of the nuclear bombs, there's been like this balance of power, right? Thank you. I love my boonie hats. I got several of them. We have this balance of power, right? Like it's mutual assured destruction. So nobody launches nukes at us because they know that our response will be to launch nukes at them, and it's mutually assured destruction. That doesn't mean it could never happen, of course, right? Like, you back somebody into a corner and give them no other options, that certainly could, those kind of catastrophic scenarios could play out. And I think that, you know, not to get too much into the history of this, but if you look at World War II and what China did, you know, I saw some good documentaries about, you know, China was kind of feeling backed into a corner. So you don't ever want to do that, right? And this goes for personal, you know, if you've got personal issues with people, if you've got somebody who's got it in for you, you know, maybe you've got a workplace person that you don't get along with or whatever, and they're kind of hard to tolerate. Maybe you've got a neighbor. You never want to back somebody into a corner to the point where they feel like they have no other options but to fight back, and to fight back aggressively. And that's also a concept that you'll learn. So can we buy a gas mask? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about the prepping for such a kind of thing. But if you're on the coast, it may not be a bad idea. So you know, you have these scenarios that come up sometimes in the prepper forums where people will talk about, well, what would you do if a nuclear strike was about to happen, or whatever. You know, there's certain scenarios where there's only so much you can do to prep. One of which might be like having an evacuation plan, because you might get forewarning that the S is about to hit the fan. You might get that. And you may have 15 minutes to get out of town, right? So this is why you might have your bug out bags set and ready to go. And if you did have a gas mask, maybe that's something you staged in your car, or at least N95s and full seal goggles. You're in inland, all right. So you've got other threats to worry about, right? Like, do you have tornadoes and stuff like that? So I have some friends. I have a friend in Kentucky who says to me, I would never live on the coast. It's too dangerous with the hurricanes and the tsunamis. Yeah. I mean, this is our home now. This is where we've chosen to make our stand. And my feeling on it is that most places have some kind of threat, whether it be tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes, and hurricanes and tsunamis. You know, we haven't had a tsunami in a long time here in Charleston, but it certainly could happen. I've watched footage of what happens when a tsunami hits a mainland. It's not good. Mother Nature is extremely powerful, and if something like that happens, it's going to go inland to a certain amount of extent, and anything that's in its path is going to get pretty much destroyed. And there's not much, you know, you may have a bunker or something like that, but that may help you if you're inland a little bit, right, from the radiation. But sorry guys, a lot of mosquitoes over here. But if you're right on the coast and we're in the path of that tsunami, that's not gonna help you. Another option, of course, would be that thyroid medicine that they give for radiation. I'm trying to think, potassium iodide, I think. Somebody needs to fact check that. Don't just go out and buy potassium iodide. But if you know you're going to be like, and this might be something that you consider if you're near nuclear power plants too, that maybe you just kind of have this on hand in case you had to bug out because of a fallout. Just something to think about. You could, as at least a couple of years ago in Greece, there are too many. There are only 246 inland people living. That's right. I'm sorry. I forgot you're over in Greece. So do you guys have any kind of natural disaster threats? Volcanoes? Hey, Daily Dan. Yeah, I'm over by the Ashley River right now, or one of the boat landings that leads into the Ashley River, talking a little bit about the tsunami risks here in South Carolina. So what else beyond, you know, having a way to bug out and get out of Dodge? What else can you do? I don't know. Maybe have a raft, but when you see the force of one of these tsunamis, it's good luck. Thank you, Adrian and Nico. Good to see you guys. Yeah, there's stuff that comes up in the prepper forums that people say, well, how do I prep for this? Well, I don't know. How do you prep for Nazis riding dinosaurs? How do you prep for Jurassic Park? How do you prep for an alien invasion? Like, thank you for clarifying that. There's certain things that, like, they're so catastrophic that, you know, maybe your best prep is to think about being right with however you conceive your maker to be, so that if something happens, you're not anxious in that last moment. I had a life-saving surgery a few years ago, and I wasn't afraid of what would happen to me. And I'm not trying to be preachy here. You know, I have definitely not going to do that with my channel, but I'm just speaking from near Greenville, probably safe here. Yeah, you probably are. Just some tornado risks occasionally and things like that. When I went in for my life-saving surgery, I really wasn't afraid of what would happen to me. I was afraid for my wife. I didn't want her to have to deal with the grief if I had died in that surgery, and worrying about finances, how to keep the house, and that kind of stuff. And would be okay. Honestly, we've taken whatever steps we can to mitigate that, but it's still that was my worry. Needless to say, I survived to tell some more tales, but that will be a story that I will tell on another one of my true life survival stories. Definitely gave me some different perspectives on life. So, people talk about like the nuclear fallout, things like that, and just like these really zombie apocalypse, like these strange situations that are least likely to happen. You really, up here is drunk drivers. Yeah, that's a problem. Definitely stay away from them drunk drivers. Instead of always I think that's a problem that preppers make, is we focus too much on the catastrophic what ifs. You are American. Every American has one. Yep, that is true. Instead of focusing on the catastrophic what ifs, people should really be, this is opinion, right? Other prepping channels will tell you different things, but my opinion is that we should be focused on the everyday survival stuff, right? Like, so medical situation like I was talking about. Bonjour. Thank you so much for joining us. So you talk about medical emergencies, you talk about disasters and storm kind of disasters, preparing for that kind of thing, loss of income. Those are, 1919, nobody could have prepared for a deadly molasses flood. Where was that, Celine? I don't know that story. Wildfires, right? Flooding, right? So know what the problems are in your area. Like, we have a lot of chemical trains that come through here. So that's a realistic possibility that we could have a train derailment. It could happen. More likely to happen than these radiated tsunamis. Less like Boston North End. I'm going to have to go back and refresh on my history. I don't remember that. I'm sorry. By the way, Celine, I have some dates for when I'm coming up to Boston, but I'll have to get with you on a private message. I don't know that I'm going to get a lot of time. It's kind of squeezed into a couple days, and I got to get with my family and do some family stuff, but we'll see what we can do. Molasses factory exploded, and I'm guessing the molasses caught fire too. So it would basically be like moving lava. So the train derailment absolutely can happen here. I know you understand. I know you do. The train derailment could happen here, and you need to have some plans for that kind of stuff. But you know what? Absolutely. Bottled water and canned goods stocked up enough for 6 months. That's smart. Water for about 4 months. Be prepared is your motto. Absolutely. You know what absolutely is going to happen here again? Hurricanes. It's a guarantee. I live on the coast. We've had, for every year that I've been here, we've had at least a Category 2 come very, very close to us. Hey, Pirate Stacker, so good to see you. So that's realistic for my area. So I should be, and guess what we prep the most for? We prep the most for hurricanes. We prep a lot for, loss of income, because that's a realistic possibility. In fact, we had our income cut by about half last year because of the pandemic. Great to be here. Hurricanes here too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're in Florida, right? Gonna buy a generator this week. That's smart. Now, my wife is a baker, and she, because of the pandemic, we did still take some orders, but it was pretty much just like people, our close customers. She wasn't doing a lot of advertising. Pirates in the house. So our income basically did get cut in half, but we had made a lot of financial preps in advance that it didn't hurt us too bad. Yep. There's a lot of our silver community down in Florida. I've noticed that. You definitely need to have rum for those S hits the fan situations. And so when we get further into this, I'm going to be doing more stuff on hurricane prep. Yeah, and I want to do a fun one just on like all the things that people don't think about, like snack food and some alcohol for comfort and things like that. There's a lot of things. I think everybody thinks about candles and batteries, which is good. You definitely need those things. But people forget to buy snacks. Rum for the hurricane parties. You know it. And I have some funny stories about that. People tend to blow through their hurricane snacks like in the first day, as the hurricane's coming up. There's actually a biological reason why that happens. It has to do with your cortisol. So I hope everybody's doing good. Happy Monday. We survived another weekend. I hope you all had a good Easter, a good Passover. It's beautiful weather today. We had a couple frosts. Shelves get cleared out of snacks. Yep. It's funny, like the Cheetos is like one of the first things to go when there's a hurricane warning. Cheetos and booze. And you got to have your canned foods. Absolutely. We had a couple frosts this past week. So this pandemic didn't affect me financially, thank God. I'm glad to hear that. We had a couple frosts this week. So my video on Friday talks about that. If you're producing some of your own food, there are some precautions that you need to take when hit this time of year where you go from warm weather to cold weather. And that's what Friday's video is about. Tuesday's video is about financial preparedness and just, you know, what are your opportunities right now to create other incomes and that kind of thing. What do you, before we wrap up here, because I'm going to have to get back to work here in a few minutes. This is a short one. What has everybody got coming out this week for videos? Does anybody have anything good that you want to plug here? And I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's looking forward. We got some spring weather coming. Trying to grow fruit trees, and the freezes killed several of my bananas off completely. I am so sorry. Pirate, if you are not already following him, there's a guy called Prepper Days who sometimes is on my channel. Tell us, have you ever seen a Bigfoot down there? I'll get to that in a second. Prepper Days grows bananas, and he's got some good videos on that. You might want to check that out. Just a vlog for me that includes a nice walk in the Arboretum. Oh, I can't wait to see that. That sounds good. That sounds good. So, no, I have never seen a Sasquatch. I have had experiences with things that I would say are, today is an alternative metals. That's cool. Yep, I like talking about copper and platinum. Wednesday is a joint collaboration with Fish. Awesome. What's up, Pilgrim's Pride? I'm getting ready to wrap up here. Oh, dang, I lost my train of thought. ADD sucks, y'all. What was I talking about? This is me, guys. This is Sarge. It's like torture being around. Bigfoot, yes, thank you, Bigfoot. So I have had, just in his lead, y'all, lead and copper. And brass. So Bigfoot, thank you all. So Bigfoot, yes, I've had some encounters with some other entities, I'll say that, and I will tell that story another day, actually several times. If you don't believe in ghosts, then there's scientific explanations if you want to prefer scientific explanations. If you do believe in ghosts, then I've got a few cool stories for you. My experience has been that people who have had experiences like this understand, and people who never have are going to dismiss it as like, you know, your brain playing tricks on you or whatever. So you all can, I'm living for paranormal stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about it. And y'all need to check out Daily Dan blog. He talks about some of this stuff as part of like his stuff. He goes out into the woods like me, looking in South Carolina, looking for Sasquatch and among other things. So check that out. I got to get back to work, y'all. They actually do make me work, and it was super awesome seeing you all. I hope everybody has a good Monday. Tuesday, 8:30-ish, I've got a video coming down. Friday, I've got 8:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've got a video coming out. Please check out each other's Sam Squatch. Yes, or as they say on South Park, maybe it was Man Bear Pig. I hope you all are having a good week. Please check out each other's channels. I love it when the small YouTuber community supports each other. You guys have a great day. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver, and watch out for radiated tsunamis. All right, we'll talk about it, Daily Dan.